Chapter 5, Crowded Highways. Successful people do what unsuccessful people are unwilling to do. If you listen to everyday workplace conversation, many people never stop complaining about the limitations of their present jobs and lifestyles. As people ask people if they ever dream of a better life, and often they will respond, "Who doesn't?" But if you ask if they would seriously consider starting a business or doing something to improve their financial future, many say something like, "My life is not so bad." This reminds me of a story about a guy passing through a small town who stopped at a general store. No sooner had he walked through the door than he heard what sounded like a dog moaning. As he walked about the store, he came upon the dog off in a corner. The dog seemed half asleep, but quite restless. He shifted about and grunted and groaned. As the man got the cash register, he asked the storekeeper, "What's wrong with your dog?" The storekeeper replied, "He likes to lie by the swamp cooler, but there are some nails sticking up from the floor over there." The traveler asked, "Why doesn't he move to another spot?" Storekeeper shrugged, "I guess it don't hurt that bad." The parable of the sower. One of the most challenging things for me to accept about human nature is that most people would rather continue to complain about things than do anything to improve their lot. Knowing, as I do, that a better lifestyle is available for anyone who truly seeks it, I often feel that I want success for some people more than they want it for themselves. Then I remember what Jesus taught his disciples about the various responses they could expect from people on hearing his message. He told them the parable of the sower. Then he spoke many times to them in parables, saying, "Behold, a sower went out to sow. And as he sowed, some seed fell by the wayside, and the birds came and devoured them. Some fell on stony places where they did not have much earth, and they immediately sprang up because they had no depth of earth. But when the sun was up, they were scorched. And because they had no root, they withered away. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprang up and choked them. But others fell on good ground and yielded a crop, some 100-fold, some 60, some 30. He who has ears to hear, let them hear. Therefore, hear the parable of the sower. When anyone hears the word of the kingdom and does not understand it, then the wicked one comes and snatches away what was sown in his heart. This is he who received seed by the wayside. But he who received the seed on stony places, this is he who hears the word and immediately receives it with joy. Yet he has now no root in himself, but endures only for a little while. For when tribulation and persecution arises because of the word, immediately he stumbles. Now he who receives seed among the thorns is he who hears the word, and the cares of the world and the deceitfulness of the riches choke the word, and he becomes unfruitful. But he who receives seed on good ground is he who hears the word and understands it, who indeed bears fruit and produces some 100-fold, some 60, some 30. Matthew 13:3-9 and 18 through 23. This teaching of Jesus empowers me to be persistent in delivering my message and to the confident that I can build a very successful business with the few represented in the parable by the seed that falls on the good ground. I've learned that the success results inevitably from my faithful, persistent sowing of the message. A clever person put it this way: some will, some won't, so what? Someone's waiting. I've learned from the parable to trust that no individual's response will ever determine my eventual success. It encourages me to take in stride the various responses people have to my message. And over time, I found that these responses are remarkably predictable. The first response most people have when faced with any opportunity is some version of, I don't have time, I don't have money, or I don't have what it takes: talent, skill, education, influence, temperament to succeed in that. People typically offer these responses without much thought. You already know from my personal story that I had no money, no influence, a modest education, and a personality not generally deemed suitable for entrepreneurship. Although I was on the workman's comp and basically unemployed, I still felt I had little spare time. I was spinning my wheels to find new employment that fit my skills, education, and financial needs. All of those automatic excuses fit my situation, but none of them truly mattered. Read any success story, and you will find these excuses never stop a person who has purpose, desire, and determination. The wide and dusty road. These automatic responses, I don't have the money, the time, or what it takes, arise from our culture's idea about success. These include notions like these: the rich get richer. It takes money to make money. He was in the right place at the right time. You have to come up with a good idea to succeed. It's all about who you know. People get rich by leveraging power and exploiting others. These widely held beliefs rest on one common but toxic assumption. To be extraordinary, one must have something extraordinary: luck, wealth, influence, good looks, talent, ideas, power, etc. While evidence can be found to support these assumptions, they miss the most basic idea of capitalism. Whatever you need to build a viable enterprise can be had for a price. You need money for a business, sell stock, find partners, or take out a loan. You need talent, hire talented people. You need ideas, look around and borrow them. All the necessary components are available. Furthermore, people often make the mistake of believing that they have matters more than who they are at the core of their being. They believe lies like these: when I have the money, then I will be generous. When I have time, I will be more focused on my dreams. When I have the education, I will be courageous in my career. These misguided ideas lead to resignation and complacency, like the dog that prefers to stay close to the swamp cooler. Most people never make up their minds to do what it takes to improve their lot. The inner resolve to change one's situation arises only when dissatisfaction reaches a level of disgust and repulsion. Living powerfully begins when you recognize that everything new starts from within, not from without. In all matters of creation, being precedes having. Courage comes first. Bold actions in one's career follow. Being generous precedes wealth creation. Focusing your mind on the fulfillment of your dreams creates openings for resources, money, and connections to appear. Yes, it seems like it must be the other way around, but if you get this one idea, you will possess one of the keys of the kingdom. What you have directly results from who you are being and how you are thinking, as expressed through your actions. People in our pessimistic culture want proof and guarantees before beginning. They want to be assured of the outcome. As you will see later in the book, when I provide guidelines for evaluating opportunities, I believe a little skepticism is healthy, but cynicism kills your dreams before they even conceived. The cynic sees only the negative aspects of human nature and can't imagine that anyone can do anything that really improves the lives of others. This mindset leads to another series of automatic excuses that have to do with other people, such as all these opportunities are schemes offered by con artists. You can't find any good employees, business associates. Watch out for anyone who says they want to help other people succeed. This common mentality doesn't want to see you succeed because it would call into action their fear based negative belief system. They point out those who have failed and say, see, it can't be done. They don't understand the wisdom contained in the parable of the sower. They live by the creed of failure consciousness. I'll believe it when I see it. The road less traveled. Success consciousness takes the opposite view. You must believe in your dream before you can see it fulfilled. Here lies the secret that Wallace Wattles wrote about in The Science of Getting Rich. He didn't use the language of faith and belief. Instead, he wrote of operating in a certain way. Getting rich, Wallace wrote, is not dependent upon your engaging in some particular business, but upon your learning to do things in a certain way. I take this to mean that I must operate with certainty regarding the success of my business, even in the face of other people's doubts. The masses always view the person with a great vision and say, he's crazy. Who needs a personal computer? They scoffed in the early 80s. I'll never waste my money on a cell phone, they declared. To live out a dream, one must break away from the pessimistic pack and shrug off the responses of the masses. Today, some people bemoan that the American dream has been stolen by the rich or big government or some other dark force. The American dream has been stolen. It was stolen from you when something or someone convinced you to give up on your dream. When they convinced you that you didn't have anything of value to offer or have what it takes to succeed. The American dream offers a life of freedom. If you're going to live the life of your dreams, you'll have to break free of the failure consciousness of the crowd. If someone has stolen your dream, take it back. They're not using it anyway. Without a doubt, the greatest freedom you will ever know will be yours when you are truly free of the opinions of other people. It's scary to defy the crowd and go against popular thinking, but the freedom and satisfaction I enjoyed today are a direct result in the choosing the road less traveled. A Robert Frost wrote in his wonderful poem by that title. For me, the choice has made all the difference. Questions for reflection, discussion, and action. Number one, what encouragement or warning did you find in the parable of the sower? Number two, what excuses are most likely to keep you on the wide and dusty road? And number three, what will it take for you to break through those excuses?